All right, so this is the second wave. We're heightened period of women's activism again here to try to agitate for some measure of equality. And there's a video later in the module that's going to address like what we mean by waves, what that terminology means. So I'll let you look at that video to get that. Here I just want to kind of introduce this outline to you to kind of tell you some of the key things to look at. Trying to start the second wave, we could connect it with access to the birth control pill. We might say instead we're going to connect it with the formation of the National Organization of Women now. So again, kind of like everything in history, you can't point to just like one thing and say, that's what starts it. So the first thing on your outline there is looking at the pill, its availability, how it's going to change society, and then also how it leads to activism among women. And then underneath the second wave, we've got the creation of the National Organization for Women. And we're going to see that in this moment in women's history, kind of like we saw before, women are going to have different approaches to how we should get equality. So you're going to have now the National Organization of Women, which is going to be a little bit more conservative, a little bit more mainstream than the so-called radical feminist or those advocating for women's liberation. Have different tactics and different approaches. And so we'll talk there about consciousness raising, this phrase, the personal is political. They're going to protest the Miss America pageant. And then we're going to see two women of color, women who identify as lesbians. They're going to find that they don't feel like they have a place in kind of the mainstream women's rights movement. So they're going to form they'll call themselves the radical lesbians, but they'll also adopt the name Lavender Menace, which was the name that was put on them. And then they kind of use it to become empowered. And then the Combahee River Collective, which might sound familiar to you. Remember Harriet Tubman participated in the Combahee River Raid. And then we want to look at some outcomes of all this activism. So we're going to see that the creation of Ms. Magazine, Title IX will be key. The Equal Rights Amendment is going to get out of Congress. We'll see what happens when it gets to the states. And then the Supreme Court decision in Roe v. Wade. So we'll look at all of those things in the context of this second wave. If you have any questions, again, be sure to put those in the discussion board, send me an email. Take care.